The project, as you know, will try and achieve 4 key objectives that obviously relate to each other, and objectives which we should consider as transversal objectives. First, causality, and really to try and understand why and how people make the decision to migrate or to stay, and what are the driving forces and motivations or obstacles for them to make that decision. And in that regard, we should try and develop an explanatory model that could possibly forecast the evolution of situations in the future. The second objective is related to adaptation as a more direct policy orientation, so that we can design with the populations affected some potential adaptation solutions that will help them actually adapt to the impact of climate change. The third key objective is to pay attention and mainstream the gender and social equity dimensions of this climate migration nexus. And we should try and pay attention when we conduct our studies and when we produce our recommendations that these dimensions of gender and social equity are paramount. And finally, obviously, this is a project funded by the European Commission, and for that reason, we should develop policy recommendations, I think not just to European policymakers, but also local policymakers in the countries where we will be working in, and potentially recommendations that can also be replicated in different countries. In order to achieve these 4 objectives, we shall try and bridge, I would say, 3 aspects, or rather to reconcile different aspects with regard to 3 nexus. The first one is to better connect quantitative and qualitative methods. And we know that in the field of studies on climate change and migration, over the past few years, there have been significant controversies between models that projected millions of people on the move and others who insisted on the multi-causality of migration. And I think that one of our responsibilities as a consortium will be to better connect quantitative and qualitative methods, which should allow us to reconnect the evidence on the field of current migration dynamics with the way they are presented in public debates, and these public debates often rely exclusively on future projections. So we should try and make sure that public debates take better account of the current migration dynamics that we will observe and document. And finally, obviously, also related to this, the importance of connecting or reconciling the local and global scales of research, so that we go beyond the big numbers and really try and understand at a local microeconomic scale the dynamics of these interactions between climate change and migration. And this should allow to become a project of preference for global research and policy in that field. This is, as you all know, a significant amount of money, which means that this is also a significant responsibility for us to, I think, really position the project as the global reference project, which is the reason why we should also be open to other partnerships and collaborations so that our research outlive the time span of the project. And so that, in a way, people remember this project like people remember HABITABLE, which concluded more than 10 years ago. This is, we've heard from the different work packages. Here is how they are articulated with each other, each set of work package seeking to achieve a specific objective. And as we can see, work package number 8 on gender and social equity and 9 on stakeholder engagement being really transversal work packages and connecting the different work packages with one another.